Welcome back to our extended conversation on Close Up with Governor Chris Sununu. Let's start up north, Governor. You're shifting resources to the northern border to deal with a surge in illegal crossings in the Swanton sector, which isn't just the Granite State, but is also Vermont and a little bit of New York State, about 300 miles long there.
And Maine.
Okay, I'm sorry, in Maine,
so,
yeah.
Yep.
If this is just a few hundred people, why is it worth it to shift these resources?
Well, a couple things. So the number of illegal northern border crossings, I think, went to about 400,000 last year. I mean, it's skyrocketing. It's equal to all the last 10 years combined. Most importantly, the number of individuals crossing that have been caught, if you will, are on the terrorist watch list. It is actually more on the northern border than the southern border. Even though we know millions cross the southern border, there's more on the northern border. So the way the federal government does it, they break it up into sectors. We're what we call the Swanton sector. That's how they keep their numbers. Look, we have a small border with Canada, to be sure. But when folks come over into Maine, into Vermont, through New York, or even through New Hampshire, one thing is for sure, we don't want them here. We don't want that problem. Our grant money was taken from us. The federal government took it and reallocated it somewhere else. So the state said, well, we're going to step up, and for the dollars that they took, we're going to replace it. So we have the manpower, we have the resources that we used to have. Now the crisis is much worse than it is, and they took money. So we're going to replace it, make sure that we're doing everything we can just to protect our border, and most importantly, setting a message. If you're crossing the border illegally, New Hampshire is not a place for you.
The data that your people collect, will that be made public? The encounters, the potential illegal crossings?
Well, all that data is collected on the federal level, right? So,
but the state resources they have.
Oh yeah, if there's an encounter on the state side, of course, we always do, whether it's a traffic stop or monitoring or apprehending someone or whatever it might be. We don't do cross-the-border apprehensions. Typically, if somebody comes across the border, our folks' job is to call Border Patrol. They're the ones that can actually, we don't have the same powers that they do. We asked Mayorkas for those powers. He denied us the ability to do that.
It just seems so bizarre that there's not data. Even the federal government can't disaggregate the data to tell us how many are crossing.
I don't know why they don't do it state by state. I think my main assumption is that they do it for the actual border crossings, right? So the biggest border crossing that we have on the northern border near us is in Vermont. So that's where most of the data would likely come from. There's a small border crossing in New Hampshire, a couple more significant ones over in Maine. The biggest border crossing where they have the most number of apprehensions is the Buffalo sector, which is just west of us. Well, why is that? They're coming to New York. Right? So folks will come in through Maine, New Hampshire, Vermont, Buffalo, really heading down to New York City as they consider that a safe haven. If you're coming to New Hampshire, we found drugs in New Hampshire. We've had families being trafficked in New Hampshire. We do have that data. It's there. When our resources are taken from us, we're gonna back it up, and we just want all of our citizens to know this is real, and especially when you're dealing with folks on the terrorist watch list, and such a high number, such a high propensity coming over the northern border now, given the threats that have come out of the Hamas-Israeli war, given the threats that have come out of the Ukraine-Russia conflict. We take all that stuff very, very seriously, and if the federal government's going to take our resources, we're not just going to accept that. We're going to put the resources where they need to be and provide as much protection as we can.